Good morning and welcome to the Saturday Morning Quarterback Show. This is Bob Hayes, and with me in studio this morning is not only head coach David Barnes of the Tigers, but his son, the assistant head coach, Will Barnes. So we're glad to have Will with us. Last night at Union County, the Tigers notched their sixth win in a row and their second win in district play. Also, they handed Union County their first loss of the season by the score of 39-7. This group of young men continues to excel and get better each week. I'll be back with Coach Barnes and son Will to discuss last night's game after we pause for these messages from our sponsors.
October's a time for planning those home projects you've been putting off all summer. Fredonia Valley Bank has the right kind of loan to suit your needs. Whether it's a new roof, gutters, painting, or remodeling, Fredonia Valley Bank can assist and step you through the loan process with ease. You can count on Fredonia Valley Bank's experienced loan officers when applying for a home, vehicle, commercial, or ag loan. Loan decisions remain local and are guaranteed to stay with Fredonia Valley Bank for the life of the loan. It's a good feeling to know that local decisions are still being made at Fredonia Valley Bank, your real community bank. 600 Cassidy Avenue, Fredonia, and 226 Commerce Street, Eddyville. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Here's a reminder from your Princeton Electric Plant Board. Meter tampering is dangerous. Tampering with an electric meter is not only dangerous, it is dishonest and against the law. Stealing electricity by tampering with an electric meter may result in your arrest and can even risk your life. Tampering with meters results in increased utility bills that everyone has to pay. If you see anyone tampering with an electric meter, call the Princeton Electric Plant Board right away at 270-365-2031. Princeton Electric Plant Board, Princeton's #1 energy source.
Hello, this is Gloria Smith with the Law Office of Jeff Russo. Are you buying or selling real estate? Are you planning on refinancing your existing home loan? If so, you should be aware that you have your choice in which attorney provides the legal services associated with such transactions. Our law office has over 50 years of experience in real estate law. We pride ourselves on being cost-effective and having a quick turnaround time. If you're in need of such services, call us today at 365-2763 or find us on the web at www.jeffrussolaw.com. We are located in downtown Princeton on the east side of the courthouse.
This is an advertisement.
We are back with the show. David, on paper, this game figured to be close, but in reality, Union County was never really in this game last night.
We talked to our kids. First of all, it goes back to what we practiced. We had a really good week of practice and preparation. Wednesday's practice was probably as good a practice as we've had all year long. So I think a lot of that is a tribute to the way we get prepared for that game. The other thing, we knew we could go 2-0 in the district, and going to Union County sometimes that's a hard place to play. And then we knew they were going to be all fired up and ready to play they thought they could maybe win this district this time. And our kids really bought into being ready to play, and their intensity level is up. And I think our tempo on offense last night was as good as it's been all year long. We played pretty fast, and we told our kids that their defensive line will get tired, and they'll get tired quick if we play fast. And I think that's a big part of it is the tempo we had on offense. And defensively, Coach McClung, Coach Mack, and Coach Riley did a great job of getting a plan together to stop some of the running game, and to shut that team out was a tribute to our defense.
Well, we noticed the preparation element too. That was one of my notes here, that apparently we prepared well during the week in practice, and we took that to the field last night.
Well, and that's always good to see. Those kids that went out and played their tail ends off last night on defense and got after them, and gave us good field position. And Joby, Will and I were talking coming over this morning. I didn't know what their stats were from last night. And Joby's 20 for 22, and I don't know that we've ever had a quarterback go 20 for 22, so that was a great job of him last night.
The other thing about Joby, it was kind of amusing, is that every ball he threw last night was caught. two by Union County and 20 by our kids. So
that's unbelievable.
But 20 out of 22 will definitely elevate his throwing percentage. But we noticed last night going into the game, Union County wins the toss, elects to defer, so they kick off to us. And we were talking before we went on the air here whether that was an intentional onside kick or whether the kicker just missed it and got his toe into the ground, and that's all that resulted from the kickoff. But we take over on the inside Union County territory, and Joby opens that game with a run. I'm going to ask Coach Will, was that one of the plays you call, Will, or was that scripted all from the start?
Usually I go into the game with the first 10 plays scripted. That's actually a play Dad wanted to put in this week, so we looked at it, and it looked good in practice, and we ran it a couple of times last night, and got us off to a good start.
Well, it was for a first down, and really kind of shocking in the radio booth to see us take almost like a quarterback draw, and all of a sudden we're deeper in Union County territory with Joby running the ball up the center and being subject to several hits, but he didn't get creamed on that play, which I was glad to see. But opens the game with a 13-yard run. This was a 48-yard drive. The big play was a 33-yard pass from Joby to Trail, and then the touchdown pass was an 8-yard pass that was deflected off maybe one of our kids' hands and maybe one or two of their defensive backs, and Trail have to give him credit for paying attention to what was going on. Ball goes up in the air, and Trail comes down with it, and we have our first score at the 10-minute and 16-second mark of the first quarter, just barely a minute and a half into the game.
That was a great way to start the game, and I guess it kind of set the tone for the game because the kickoff, I don't know if that's what they meant to do or not, but it gave us great field position, and then to score the first touchdown on a ball that was deflected and get a touchdown, get a score, not a pick, that was big.
And then we kick off to Union County. They go 3 and out, can't move the ball. We take over, and our second drive of the night, we score on our first 4 drives last night. Our second drive of the night is actually a 2-play drive, which was aided by a 15-yard penalty against Union County. We opened that drive with a 27-yard pass to Gabe East, and I thought Gabe was going to take it all the way. He looked like he was just about past the last man when he was brought down.
Yeah, I did too. That was a good read by Joby on that one.
And then we end up with the drive with a 15-yard pass to Travis and from Joby, and I just continue to be amazed by Travis's effort after he catches the ball, what he does with the ball, and bulls his way through people to get into the end zone on this particular play.
That was a screen that we called right there, and our line did a good job of getting on the corner. But Travis, how he got in the end zone on that one, I don't know how he did it. We were on the opposite side of the field, but and Bradley was up top. He said he's not going to get in, and the next thing I know, he's in the end zone. And he's done that numerous times this year. And it's just the kid gets straight up field. That's what we coach him to do, and he does that and makes kids miss, or he'll run through a tackle. That was just tremendous effort on his part to get that in the end zone. Well,
it was huge. That score with boys adding the first 2 extra points last night with 8:19 to go in the first quarter. We're up 14-0, and it's looked pretty easy. First drive was a 6-play drive. Second drive was a 2-play drive. The first drive taking 1:41 off the clock. The second drive 11 seconds off the clock. So still early in the first quarter. We kick off again to Union County, and they can't move again, another 3 and out. Then we take over, and we have a 3-play drive this particular time that takes 32 seconds off the clock. Oliver Parker making a sensational catch at the 1-yard line on a well-thrown ball by Joby that we felt like only Oliver could make the catch on, and we were shocked that he could make that catch.
That was unbelievable. I mean, he lays out and makes it. I didn't know if he got it or not from where I was standing, and Bradley up top said it was a catch, and he just. I mean, Oliver laid out that ball. I don't know how he caught that, but it was a good throw with Joby. You're right. Nobody else was going to make the play on it but Oliver. And when Joby was warming up last night, he was doing a really good job throwing the ball and hitting the outside shoulder like he's supposed to, and he did. That's what he did with Oliver on that play.
We also noticed their warm-ups, and this is something that I picked up from you last year, that when we look sloppy in warm-ups, we don't usually we usually take a sloppy effort to start the game.
Yeah.
And I noticed all year long this year we've been pretty skilled in the warm-ups, knowing what we're going to do, and when we make our throws, they're usually right on the money. We're not dropping a ton of balls, and so we go up at this point with 6 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the first quarter, 21-0, and I don't know whether we want to start celebrating or start trying to figure out what Union County's trying to lull us into a comatose state last night. But our first 3 drives were fantastic, and it goes back to your comments many times about time of possession is not really essential when you move the ball as quickly and score as quickly as we do.
No, I guess toward in the second half we started worrying, thinking more about time of possession, but at that point, but usually that's not something we worry about. And we talk to our kids anytime we touch the ball, our goal is to score. Whether it takes 1 play, 2 plays, or 20 plays, we want to score. And we did. What I was proud of last night, the kids really paid attention before the game, because I really talked to them about intensity, matching their intensity. Because to me, and I think Ty mentioned it in here yesterday, that how were we going to respond with Union County? They come out and run the ball and score, and how are we going to respond? That's the thing I was concerned about. And our kids last night went out and competed and did exactly what we wanted them to do.
We'll mention this young man's name later, but Noah McGowan getting the start last night looked like he belonged in the lineup, and that's not trying to move Luke out of the lineup, but he looked comfortable out there.
Very proud of the young man. He's a freshman, and he was going up against their best defensive lineman, and number 56, a good player for Union County, and I thought for the most part he did a really good job last night in his first start.
He looked comfortable on the field, and we also note that Luke did not get in for any snaps last night.
We didn't even dress him.
Okay,
our trainer Mike, he felt like we needed to hold him out and let him have the rest this week and get him ready for next week.
And now we're up 21-0, and we kick off to Union County, and they're able to mount a sustained drive from their 31-yard line to our 9-yard line, where the Braves turn it over on downs. And in this particular drive, number 4 for the Tigers, we take 6 plays to score on the drive, taking over at our 9-yard line. We open with a 3-yard run by Jameer, 1-yard run by Jameer, and 7-yard pass to Jameer, picking up a key first down. And apparently, looked to me like from the booth, that was a check down.
Yes.
He had drifted out, got wide open, and our receivers over the middle were covered, and he just checked it off and dumped it down.
And that's good to see. When we had Elijah for 4 years, that's something we could never get him to do, is check it down. He wouldn't do it. And Joby did a good job getting us, and then Jameer doing a good job getting us first down last night.
And then I want to ask Will about this. Then we set up the 2 short passes to Travis, and then we hit him with the bomb. Were those scripted plays where we were trying to lull their backs into thinking we were only going to go short, Will?
That was Coach Snellens. He does a great job in the box, and he just saw something the way they were playing us on that single receiver side, and they weren't really respecting us deep, so he thought we could take a shot, so we did, and that's a great job by him. He does a really good job up top, and there's probably been 3 or 4 touchdowns at least this year that he's called from the box, and that's really valuable to have.
Well, we note that on those first 2 catches, Travis, they were backing him, giving him the 5-6 yard catch, and Travis goes down, and all of a sudden 2 Union County players converge on where they thought the ball might be going, and Travis just he's behind them within 3 steps, and there's no way they're going to catch him. Joby throws a beautiful ball that lands softly. Travis obviously catches it, and nobody was going to catch him. We weren't going to be run out at the 3-yard line on that play, were we, Coach?
That's right.
And so we score. We go up 28-0, and just barely into the second quarter when we score that particular play. But the big one was the 72-yard touchdown pass to Travis, and we're glad those guys up in the box next to us are doing something. We have to pat Coach Stallings on the back, because usually there's a lot of a lot of noise going on over there, banging on the wall, slamming doors, and stuff like that.
On that turnover that got us the ball, is that the one where we won it?
No, we held them on downs. The other one's
Okay,
coming up here
okay.
when it's not a fumble, it was a strip.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about
I
that.
add one thing there on what Will was saying there with him and Coach Stallings. Those two really work well together. You know, Bradley up top and Will. That's been a big help. And maybe because both of them play quarterback. You know, they see things that I don't see, and that's been a tremendous help. And Bradley, you know, has made some calls from up top that has really helped us.
Well, we didn't know if that came from the top. I really had no clue that had come. I thought that was something you all saw on the sidelines there right in front of us, where those two short passes were completed. And I remarked on the radio last night that they saw that they could get these guys tricked and go for the bomb, and we'll give Bradley his credit on that.
I don't know how we can say at that place. I don't guess you're really up on top over at Union County, but
we were in Stalag 13, I think, what they call that thing. So we go 91 yards, only 2 minutes needed to cover that distance. So another short scoring drive. We're going to take a break right now. And when we return, we'll talk about the rest of the second quarter. Back after these messages.
When is the last time your home had an electrical checkup? Penn Rail Electric reminds you to make sure outlets are not overloaded and that cords are in good condition and away from high traffic areas where they might cause someone to trip and fall. Look out for danger signs such as discolored switch plates and covers that are warm to the touch. If you have an older home with older wiring, have a professional check it out every few years. A safety reminder from Penn Rail Electric, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Planters Bank, located at 208 North Jefferson Street, is locally owned and operated with a strong, sincere focus on customer service. Planters Bank has a diverse team of seasoned professionals in Western Kentucky and Clarksville, Tennessee. Since first opening their doors, Planters Bank has made a name for itself as an energetic player in the financial services market. Stop by and talk to the friendly folks at Planters and find out about the You Choose Rewards program. Planters Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to the quarterback show. Union County on their next possession can't move, is forced to punt. Tigers taking over at our 48-yard line. The Tigers move to the Union County 2-yard line, and on third and goal, with our power blocking package in there, we're looking like we're going to bust it up the middle, but instead we sprint Joby out wide right. Will, was that a design play, or was that something that Joby checked off at the line of scrimmage?
It was something we, I guess, put in this week. Just we've ran that formation. We've been in it, I think, since that Hoptown game, and we've basically ran 2 run plays out of it. So just to get something, a different look out there, and I really thought we were trying to get the ball to Hunter Van Hoosier. I thought he would be wide open, but they did a great job covering him, and just a bad call on my part, really.
Well, we were wondering if we were going to try to run Joby into the end zone with those big guys in front of him, and we see Joby attempting and pulling up. Hey, this is going to be a pass. And where we were sitting in the press box, I couldn't see where our receivers were. So he was trying to dump it off to one of the up backs then.
Yeah, we tried to release Hunter Van Hoosier there in the flats, and they had an outside linebacker right there that played it really well and covered him up.
Well, Joby throws his first interception of the night, still perfect on his throws to our receivers, and Union County then takes over. They begin a drive from their 20, and they reach the Tiger 5-yard line. And that's when the Braves turn it over on a fumble. And David, I'll let you comment on that. It's actually a great defensive play by Trell Riley with a strip.
We got a number of our players got to on the tackle, and Trell comes in and rips the ball out. And it's something for the last 2 or 3 weeks I've been hollering and screaming over when we're on defense. Reach in and strip the ball out. Those guys carrying it loose, and paid off last night because they were on the 5, and that kind of took the wind out of ourselves. Number 9's head drops, and just a big defensive play right there.
He had just covered 15 yards to get it to the 5-yard line, and Trail strips him of the ball, and we were also wondering if the officials were going to overrule that and say it wasn't a fumble, but they had a couple, three of them get together and they rule it a turnover.
Well, we had 7 of them last night, so surely to goodness they could figure that one out, you know.
Well, we were just always hopeful that the officials can work things out.
Usually we only have 5, but last night we had 7.
Well, sometimes we don't know what those other 2 might be doing out there, but at least they were in sync last night for the most part. Probably a pretty well officiated game.
Well, I tell you what, the 7-man crew paid off on the hit, the helmet to helmet on Ben Holt in the first half. Because if that had been a 5-man crew, I don't think we'd have got that call.
Well, and right, 14 eyes see things better than 10 eyes.
Because the guy that threw the flag was one of the extra officials.
And the Tigers taking over at their 5-yard line with 3 minutes 32 seconds remaining in the half. Tigers reached the Union County 48-yard line on a series of passes, and then Joby goes back and I thought threw a beautiful ball over the middle, just a little bit high that Travis couldn't pull down. Travis gets his hands on it, deflects it, then it's intercepted by Union County. They're unable to do anything with the ball. 3 plays, the half runs out, and you take a look at those 2 interceptions, we could easily be up 42-0.
That's what Will said at halftime.
At that point, with certainly a running clock, and but we do lead 28-0. And what do we tell our kids going in at halftime?
The first thing that I got down there is that we scored 28 points in a half, and there's 24 minutes. So there was nothing to say that Union County couldn't regroup and come out with a lot of fire, and they score 28 if we don't come back and play with a lot of intensity. So I just challenged them to come out and play with the same intensity, same level we started the game, to act like it was 0-0 and come out there, because we had to kick off to them. And I knew that first kickoff and that first drive was going to be a big deal for us. And our defense did a good job right there.
We do kick off to Union to start the second half, and they mess around with it really deep in their territory and start their drive. And on 3rd down, the Union County quarterback, uncomfortable all night, I felt, in the pocket, throws a ball that Caleb Burden just steps in front of the receiver, the Bledsoe kid, I believe, and picks it off and takes it back to the Union County 22-yard line. Another big play to start the second half.
And he did a great job of reading that and getting underneath that and getting a pick. But the quarterback, when we watched him in film, the thing that really I was impressed with was his ability to get outside the pocket and make plays down the field. I think we got enough pressure on him last night that it kind of messed with him a little bit. And I'm like you, he didn't probably play as good a game as he'd probably been playing in the last few weeks.
I think he got rattled a little bit back there, and the ball comes out quicker, wobblier, sometimes just to get rid of it. I mean, I think he threw a couple balls up for grabs last night. But then Tigers then take 6 plays to push it in from the 3-yard line on a run by Jameer Riley. And at this time, I felt like it was the consensus in the press box and our box that we were going to go for 2. And I'm sure that was the call on side. Let's get this clock running and speed this game up.
I think we had that discussion right when we come out after half. When we score, we're going to go for 2. And, obviously that's something we wanted to do. And the play that we ran there, we ran it last week, and we were watching the film on Sunday, and we noticed that they didn't do a very good job of covering Jameer coming out the backside, so we added that to it, and that's what we threw last night for the 2-point.
Jameer had to do a little work to get into the end zone on that play. He did get in the end zone, going up at that point 36-0. 8 minutes and 33 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and thus creating the running clock. Union County starts another drive. They have another pass intercepted by Gabe East on their next drive. Gabe returns it, thought he was going all the way with that one. Brings it back to the Union County 8-yard line, and we mess around, get to the 4th down, 4th and goal from the 2, I believe. We kick a 21-yard field goal. Boys looking good on that kick.
And that's, again, you can't simulate field goals in practice like that, and as it gave us an opportunity to get them out there. And a lot of people don't understand football. That's a hard deal. You got the snap, you got the hold, and you got the kick. So anytime we get an opportunity to be able to do that, practice it in a game situation, that's good.
Well, and we put points on the board too, and Caldwell leads at that time 39-0. Union County can't move on their next possession, and we really bottled them up in the second half, except for that one long drive they had against our reserves. And they throw the ball. This is one where I thought was thrown up for grabs. Their receiver was open until Isaiah Treadwell closes the last 10 yards, jumping in front of the receiver and picking it off at our 28-yard line. Union County had moved, maybe picking up a couple first downs on that drive, but then we were freely substituting at that point.
Hey, Isaiah got a great jump on that ball, and I was glad to see that kid get that interception. That's going to help him. But just to see him break on the ball like that, and going back to Gabe, that's the first interception Gabe's got all year. He was pretty pumped up after that.
Well, you're right, and the other thing about his first catch, or his only catch last night on the offensive side, he got himself out of negative numbers on his pass reception. So Gabe was happy, offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball last night. Exactly. And I think Isaiah had another chance. We had maybe 2 or 3 chances last night to pick off balls that we either dropped or a little bit out of our reach, and all of that across the field from us. We couldn't determine whether we got good hands on the ball or we were just lunging enough to touch it.
I think we just got there at the point where we were just touching it.
Mm-hmm. But Isaiah picks the ball off, and so we complete a big, we can't move anything and turn it back over. Union County completes a big pass play. This is against our reserves, and the running clock is beautiful because you're looking down at your watch and 5 minutes going off your watch. 5 minutes is going off that clock on the scoreboard. They had a big play for 41 yards and a 15-yard horse collar tackle against our defensive back, puts it down to our 8-yard line. Then we have a pass interference penalty. It takes it to the 4, and then they finally punch it in from the 4 and get their only score of the night. And that's essentially winds the game up. The Tigers winning 39-7, but we got one last shot. And I thought really Seth Slayton was going to break one. He's got great deceptive speed when he gets around the end.
I was glad to see that, and we had a really good block by Michael Vickery coming out to spring him on that too, and that's good to see those kids get that in the varsity game, be able to do that. And
we'll mention later again, but we've got a JV game coming up this Monday night at Tiger Stadium, and obviously Seth will be getting a lot more reps in that game. And Travion Samuel ran the ball, I think, hard last night. Didn't get much yards, but he's going to be a powerful bruising runner before he hangs up his career.
He's going to be a good one.
And that's we're going to be back with the stats after this commercial break and a word from our sponsors.
Fortner Gas Company is a full-service local and family-owned propane company offering services in Princeton, Cadiz, Madisonville, and Murray. Right now, Fortner Gas is offering specials on propane. Fortner Gas offers Holland and Napoleon grills, Dixie choppers, and they also have Red Max weed eaters. Contact Fortner Gas Company today for all of your residential, commercial, and agriculture propane needs. Fortner Gas Company, a family tradition of service since 1951.
Colonel Sanders from KFC here to talk about the good old days. Well, the good old days are still here in chicken form, specifically in KFC's original recipe fried chicken with 11 herbs and spices. Our delicious chicken is still hand-breaded and pressure-fried just like it was then. Get your fill with 2 pieces of my original recipe in a $5 fill-up with mashed potatoes, a biscuit, a cookie, and a drink at a KFC near you. KFC, it's still finger-licking good. At participating KFCs, prices may vary, tax extra.
Princeton Drug Company, 103 West Main in Princeton, proudly features low-cost prescriptions and friendly service. Princeton Drug offers in-town delivery, in-store pickup, or a convenient drive-through window. Princeton Drug has a wide selection of Christian greeting cards for every occasion. Princeton Drug is open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30, and on Saturday from 8:30 to 2:30. No deliveries on Saturday. Princeton Drug, 105.
And we're back with the final segment of the quarterback show, and we'll take a look at the stats, and we'll start off with our passing effort. And before we start that, David and Will, I know that we didn't rush as many times as we had in prior games, and having Jameer back with a pretty good experience. Will, let me address this question to you. Were we comfortable in what we saw early in the game, passing the ball, that we went to more passes than runs?
Yeah, I thought we had some good matchups with our receivers, and it's really just kind of getting in a flow and whatever's working, kind of going with that.
And Joby throws it 22 times, completes 20 of them for 268 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jameer with, we'll talk about the rushing here. Jameer with 3 catches for 31 yards, and he was more valuable coming out of the backfield last night on that one play that we talked about on the check down.
Yeah.
And Oliver with 4 catches for 47. Oliver broke a streak without a touchdown catch last night, so y'all have to pump him up this week in practice. Travis with 5 catches, 2 touchdowns, 105 yards. Trail 6 catches, 51 yards, 1 touchdown. Gabe East 1 catch for 27 yards, and then Trace Olden, one of our reserves, 1 catch for 7 yards. So 268 yards. Barely throwing the ball at all in the second half. I think maybe Joby threw it twice, maybe not even that. Rushing wise, we have 26 carries for 98 yards. Jameer 11 for 38. Pretty tough running inside. I thought that may be why we maybe went to the air well on that. They bottled us up pretty well.
Yeah, they've got some good sized defensive linemen, and I thought that was their strength of their defense was their D line. They had some good players there.
And Joby with 4 runs for 11 yards. Dylan Gray the 1 carry for 1 yard and a touchdown. Trail 2 carries for no yards. Russ Bashir with the reserves 1 carry, no yards. Travion Samuel 2 carries for -3, and then Seth 5 carries for his 51 yards. 26 rushes by the Tigers, 98 yards, giving the Tigers total offense of 366 yards for the game. Union County with 31 rushes for 112 yards, less than 3 yards a carry, and they had 4 or 5 runs. I think you could put in the double figures and pass to take those out. They probably averaged 1.5 yards a carry for their rushing attack. 4 out of 17 and 3 interceptions for 83 yards. 41 of that coming on the last one, their only drive late in the game against our reserves. So they throw for 83 yards, rush for 112, 195 yards, total offense, and a dominating game by our defensive players, David.
I think they've been averaging over 200-some yards rushing going into the game, and, that's just a great effort by our defense. And, like I said, we really had good preparation going into this game, and our kids were tuned into it. And, we watched a lot of film, and the kids came out ready to play last night defensively.
Tigers run 49 plays last night, one of those being a punt. Union County runs 51 plays, 3 of those being a punt. So basically, we each have 48 plays from the line of scrimmage, and we're able, obviously, to be much more effective than Union County was on the defensive side of the ball. Union County turns it over 4 times, Caldwell County twice with the interception, so we win the turnover battle. And generally, as we say, we should be in pretty good control of the game if we have that stat going in our favor.
Yeah, again, that's a big stat to look at.
And we'll look at the tackles. Hunter, great to have him back in the lineup, 11 tackles. Dylan Gray, 8 tackles. Caleb Burden, 7 tackles and a pick. Dylan Cavanaugh, 5. Got a lot of coverage out of Dylan Cavanaugh.
I think
secondary, 5 tackles.
Dylan probably played the best game he's played all year long. He did a great job on coverage on that down there on the end zone, knocking the ball away. And then he had some big hits on the kickoff returns.
Mitchell Harrelson with 5, Will Bashir with 4, Austin Hardrick, and we'll talk about that. That's here in a minute. With 3, Trail with 3, Cameron Traylor with 2, Cole Baker with 2, Ben Holt with 2, and Mac Engelbryant with 2. And we knew going into the game that Devin Kilgore would not play, so between the alternating Austin Hardrick and Mac Engelbryant, you got 5 tackles out of those 2 spots. Well, or that one spot, I should say.
If you can get a rotation on your D-line, it gives kids some rest. And, with the team that runs the ball like Union County runs, that helps a lot. Austin Hardrick, this is his first year he's ever played football. And, it's just good to see a kid like that to come out and, work hard and finally getting a little bit of playing time. And, Mac and him switching up and gave us you get 2 different looks. You got a big kid about 6'3", and then you got Mac coming in a little bit quicker kid. So that's a pretty good deal for us.
And then you're building reserve for later in the season when you can give Devin a rest every now and then. And Devin could have played last night. Was he dressed?
No, we did not dress him.
Okay, so we
When I talked to Devin, he was under the impression that he didn't have a concussion. That's not what the doctor said. So he's under the concussion protocol. So he'll be.
He was dressed. He was in street clothes by concussion
Yes.
protocol.
Yes.
With one tackle each, Gabe East and Seth Slayton, Max Ashley, Cameron Baker, Jameer Riley, Isaiah Treadwell. Then we had a couple sacks last night. Cole won and half sack by Dylan Gray and half by Mitchell Harrelson. Fumble recovery by Trail, and that probably should be ruled a strip. Interceptions by Caleb, Gabe, and Isaiah Treadwell. Injury situation last night, David, we came out with the two kids that could not dress. We saw Will limping a little bit around.
There was a play where Will, his toe went in the ground and they bent backwards, so he stretched that pretty good, I think. And then Ben Holt, we got something going on with his back. We'll find out more this week.
And then we want to comment again on Noah McGowan taking the place of Luke Stallings in the offensive lineup and giving a really, really excellent performance last night.
Yeah, again, like I said, he was going up against their best defensive lineman, and I think he did a really good job for us.
And we look on our side. I have to stand up in the press box to see our crowd, but we had another great crowd. Union County had a great crowd there last night, expecting
Yes.
maybe them to break our bubble or pop our balloon, so to speak. But we had a great crowd on our side of the field as well.
Yeah, and Jeremy Tackett, their AD, he said that concession stand on our side is run by their band, and their band people asked him, said, "Do you think Caldwell County will bring very many people?" And he said, "Caldwell County will bring their people. They will follow this football team, I promise you." So that's good that other people realize what kind of fans we've got.
And looking over what we've always mentioned, Will, a little injury to him. Oliver bounced back after his super sensational catch at the 1 yard line, probably having the breath knocked out of him on that play.
Well, and then see the play before that, when he got hit late by 52, he kind of got banged up a little bit there in his lower back, and then he lands on the football and got the breath knocked out of him. So he got it from but he bounced back and played a really good football game for us.
I know that when we score on that touchdown, we bring Russ in as a holder, and Russ obviously did a fine job on being able to do that. So we've got people that can alternate. If Mitchell goes down, who would be our long snapper or short snapper in this case?
It's going to be Tate.
We know next up for the Tigers will be Trigg County. Trigg got mauled last night by Paducah Tillman. I'll get my score sheet out here. Tillman winning that game 56-7. We go to Katie's next week, and we also want to comment again, JV game this coming Monday night at Tiger Stadium at 6 o'clock. And we want to also note that Youth Incorporated has games at Tiger Stadium today, and I'll let you comment on that, David.
Yeah, if you get a chance, get out there and watch that. That's they do. Our people that run the Youth Incorporated, our coaches that coach it, do a phenomenal job, and that's our future, those young kids. So get the opportunity to go out and watch them play today.
And mentioning Austin Hardrick, I'm sure probably he played Little League football, so he had the basics going into never having played before. What year is
he's a senior.
He's a senior, so
Yes.
Good for him.
Yeah.
He's my Mr. Witherspoon now.
There you go.
Exactly. Final thoughts before we end this 45-minute show.
Well, this week, a few years ago, Colby, it was really Colby's idea. Colby Lewis, the head coach of Trigg, that this is a 139 bowl, and there's a traveling trophy that goes along with that, which is we've had ever since we started. So we want to keep that thing at our place, and we go to Trigg, and we always have a great crowd at Trigg, Kansas. It's not that bad a trip. You can go to Farrell's and eat before the game or after the game, whichever.
I think we're going to take in fish next Friday night at what's the name? At Katie's Restaurant, yes.
And but I know we're going to have a great crowd down there, and it's our third district game, and it's a week that we got to prepare, and it's going to be a big game for Caleb Burden. He transferred back from Trigg County, so I know he's looking forward to it. But the thing our kids got to do, they got to keep their minds on what we got to get done and not overlook anybody. They're going to look at the score and say, well, Tillman beat them like that. something we're going to have to battle this week and get their minds back where we're ready to play Friday night.
And Will, any final thoughts on your part from the offensive side of the ball, what you saw last night and what you've seen all season long?
I think we've just continued to get better at really every position. And that's what we're going to have, going forward to, win this district and make a deep playoff run.
And that's a compliment to Coach McClung, too, for having the O-line gain maturity and experience and credibility and
well, you
purpose,
got
if you will.
well, there's two other people we got to throw in there. Coach Riley does a great job, and then Wednesday, Coach Riley and Coach McClung weren't on the field yet, and Earl took over, so Earl's our other offensive line coach.
We noticed last night in the press box, Earl was ready to go.
He was fired up.
He was not typical Earl in my opinion. He was ready to go.
A little extra oomph.
Yes, and go over some scores last night of some of the teams Caldwell has played this year. Christian County beating Owensboro 48-27. Tillman over Trigg, as we mentioned, 56-7. Crittenden over Fulton City 54-6. Henderson over Muhlenberg County 38-8. Graves County over Marshall County 55-20. And a little surprise to me, Madisonville winning over Hopkinsville last night 35-20. That's going to wrap up this edition of the Quarterback Show. Stay tuned next Friday night at 6 o'clock for the Coach David Barnes pregame show as the Tigers travel to Cadiz to play the Trigg County Wildcats and extend this district winning streak to 3 and the season winning streak to 7 games. For Coach David Barnes, Coach Will Barnes, Ty Engelbrod here at the studio. With me, this is Bob Hayes, wishing you all a most pleasant weekend.